there is the imprint of the higher dimensional force which made it. Now, somebody could say, well, that's God. Well, but in a scientific context, we don't speak like that. But whatever it is that made blind matter into whales, squirrels, and human beings, it left its calling card inside each human being, each squirrel, each whale. That's the DNA. Well, the DNA codons are based on a system of 64, exactly like the I Ching. So my belief is that some group of people thousands of years ago looked into human organism, looked by meditative techniques into the center of their own beings. And they were not mystics, nor were they empiricists. They were simply curious. But at the center of the meditative experience, they saw an ebb and flow, an energy field that was in a constant state of flux. And they asked themselves, how many elements are necessary to describe this energy field at every level in biology, chemistry, and society? And so there really is a purpose to the universe. Its purpose is this state of hypercomplexification in which all of its points become related to each other, become what mathematicians call cotangent. And it gives the universe the feeling of being imbued with a caring presence. It makes it appear as though nature is tending toward something, and it changes our own ethical and moral position in the universe. Because, science tells us that we're the products of a cosmic accident. We're at the edge of an ordinary galaxy in an ordinary star system, and we're damn lucky to be here. And that's it. That's our place, a very existential notion of our place in the cosmos. But if you take this other point of view, that process is under the influence of an attractor, and that the value the attractor is maximizing is novelty.
Because we were born alone, even if we were born as twins, right?
Yep.
We have somewhat individual way of seeing things, understanding things, and way we think on things, right? Nobody thinks exactly the same as you do, right? So at the end of the day, you always have been alone, and you will be alone, and you are alone, no matter what circumstance. Whether you want to accept the fact and embrace and going forward, or you are in constant refuse, denial. So it's just up to us which way we want to go.
Vibrant.
Keep it going.
From the ego, the false mind-made self. Danger, I'm under threat. And what is the emotion generated by this continuous message? Fear, of course. Fear seems to have many causes. Fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of being hurt, and so on. But ultimately all fear is the ego's fear of death, of annihilation. To the ego, death is always just around the corner. In this mind-identified state, fear of death affects every aspect of your life. For example, even such a seemingly trivial and normal
Human
thing.
soul at the end of time. Invoke it into existence like a UFO and open the violet doorway into hyperspace and walk through it, out of profane history and into the world beyond the grave, beyond shamanism, beyond the end of history, into the galactic millennium that has beckoned to us for millions of years across space and time. This is the moment. A planet brings forth an opportunity like this only once in its lifetime, and we are ready, and we are poised, and as a community, we are ready to move into it, to claim it, to make it our own. It's there. Go for it, and thank you.
We are much more suited for dancing than for whatever it is that we have been doing. You know, whatever it wasn't dancing.
Once you know how the basic explore all its countless manifestations, no need to make it into a complex personal problem. The ego, of course, loves that. It is always seeking for something to attach itself to in order to uphold and strengthen its illusions. Is intimately connected with their problems. Once this has happened, the last thing they want is to become God. They're opening lots of doors.
Socrates' whole allegory of the cave and things like that. And you can, where people were just being in their cave and noticing the shadows and thinking that was the world. And then somebody turned around and they went outside and they saw the sun, and, it's like, oh my God, he came back and wanted to tell all of his friends about it. And they absolutely wouldn't look toward the light, no matter what he did. You know, they just wanted to stay entranced in their shadow world.
You're in this cave. We are watching.
Perhaps you thought you would never know such a blessing. That supreme experience I received from my Guru. He gave me by his touch, which I could not attain by the power and effort of my meditations alone.
Because I remember there was like the sport of wrestling in school that kids, they wrestle, the wrestling sport in school. You've ever heard of that? So there was a kid that was in the wrestling sport, and before like they had long hair, they had dreads, their hair was like big, but the referee, the coach or whatever that was conducting the wrestling match, he said that he couldn't do the match until he cut off his hair, and he like penalized him. He made him cut off his hair in front of a whole crowd, like in front of the audience. He had to shave his hair and before the wrestling match, and he ended up winning the match. So his team went on to the finals. But after the match, he didn't look like victorious. He didn't feel triumphant. He didn't feel like he wanted to raise his head. He felt like depressed. He looked like he just lost all his power. Yeah.
Correct?